Hey guys, Josh from TrailBuilt. Pretty excited to be here today. We're up in Tigerton, Wisconsin. I'm here with Zach. Zach is in our customer service center at work with TrailBuilt, and he actually covers a bunch of other divisions. And if you guys have questions, this is the guy. But Zach said if you have problems, I'm the guy. It's not how it goes, actually.
That'd be a Josh thing.
Problems, questions. But anyways,
right.
Up here with Zach, and the reason we're up here is because Zach just picked up this 2022 Nissan Frontier. Now, the reason I wanted to get him up here and go off-roading here at Tigerton, which maybe not technically off-roading, guys, because we're here in Wisconsin. The trails aren't super challenging, but
off-roading for me.
Yeah, but Zach is fairly new to the off-roading community because before he was into the JDM world, he was
big car guy, had a couple Evos, had an SCI, had a WRX. So yeah, that was my life until about 8 months ago.
So not shying away from the all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, just going with something a lot more capable and bigger, maybe not as fast, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's okay.
One of the reasons I wanted to talk to Zach with you guys is because, you know, we're all familiar with the Tacomas and the other mid-size quarter-ton truck-size vehicles out there, like the, well, Tacomas, and there's the Colorados and the GMC
Rangers,
Canyons and the Ford Rangers, but you don't really see a whole lot of these Nissan Frontiers, so I wanted to kind of pick Zach's brain and find out, is it a contender? I look at it like it's an underdog. Like, we should be paying more attention to these Nissan Frontiers because they have a lot of capability and a lot of off-road upgrades with the Pro 4Xs right out of the gate, right from the factory, like the reverse locker and a lot of the things that the Tacoma offers. But enough of me talking, I just kind of want to pick Zach's brain and find out, like, when you were looking for trucks, how did you end up deciding on the Nissan Frontier?
Dude, to be honest with you, it kind of just snuck up on me. I wasn't looking for a Frontier at all. I was actually looking for Tacomas because I've kind of always wanted Tacoma. I was starting to get curious because I had cars forever, like you already mentioned. I was looking at the TRD Pro. I was getting close to pulling the trigger. I'm like, I found one I liked and everything. And I literally, this is going to sound a little boomerish, but I literally saw an ad for these from Nissan. It was a Pro 4X. It was on Instagram, and I was like, what is that? Because I've always, sorry guys if you have previous generations, I've never liked previous generation Frontiers. I thought they looked kind of doofy. But I saw this thing and I was like, wait a minute, what is that? So I looked into them. We had one at the time. We had one in the state that was a Pro 4X, fully loaded, like everything they offer. And I kind of just jumped on it. I had my SCI at the time, and I found it, and it was 4 days later I went and got it.
Yeah, so. And I did the same thing. When I seen this sitting in the parking lot at work one day, I damn near broke my neck going, what was that? What is that? You know,
right.
I mean, these are brand new, obviously. Yeah, but they're not only different, but they really did a phenomenal job on their styling and the aesthetics of these. Plus, Zach did go with a 2.5-inch rough country lift in here. There's not a whole lot available to the market at this point, but we do have several different options on TrailBuilt. So the easiest option out of the gate, 2.5 inches of lift, and then Zach went with the 275 65 18s on our Anthem Liberties, which really dress up the styling on here with that 2.5-inch lift and the 18s and the 275. So really did a nice job right out of the gate building this thing up.
Man.
So they absolutely look tremendous, I think. I mean, you know, you don't really always go for form over function. A lot of us like what are the off-road capabilities, which we'll get into, but
sure.
I think this has it both, you know, has both off-road capabilities and the look. So it's pretty sharp. But if you want to just walk us through some of the, you know, some of the things, some of the advantages that you're finding with this Frontier, and, you know, maybe, you know, we know the lifts are sort of limited out there as far as availability at this point. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more coming to market, but, you know, maybe some of the reasons why the lift and the tires, and we can go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even need to tell you, just looking at it, I was starting off a little more conservative. I wanted to definitely, it had a pretty intense rake from factory, and I was like, immediately I want to get rid of that at least. I still loved how it looked, but wanted to just dress it up a little, like you said. So started off conservative with something that I thought would look good and would really complement it. So you already covered kind of what I did there, but as far as besides the looks, what's really drawn me in and things that I really like, the 360 camera that it's got. It's also got off-road cameras for all 4 corners that you can cycle through on the screen. Another thing that I like just personally, when I compared the interior of this thing to the comparable Tacoma, again, I still love Tacomas, but this thing's got a huge 9-inch screen, Apple CarPlay, 10 speaker and a sub sound system. Just so many things that, coming from cars and stuff that I've always had, I'm like, that sounds really good to me. It had all that. So a lot of the creature comforts I was looking for. And you still get factory Bilstein suspension, stuff like that you get in Tacomas. So you already see electronic locker. So I mean, as to entry-level off-road stuff guy, which I'd say I am, I was like, this seems like a good way to kind of get my feet wet a little bit.
Yeah, and what was interesting is, as we're talking about, you know, some of the features that this has, like the 360 camera, the 4 corners cameras to see your trail obstacles, things like that. This is the Pro 4X model, and Zach, coming from the car world, the JDM world, you know, having the STI and the other cars like that, to go right up into a Pro 4X basically model built for the trails with its traction capabilities and things like that. What made you decide to go all the way up to the Pro 4X right off the bat?
I think it's because I was kind of taking the stance of, if I want to really just kind of dabble with this, I want to try to be as equipped as I can out of the gate, which is why I was looking at the TRD Pro Tacoma and then this thing. So I was like, at least then, if I'm gonna really give it the old college try, I can have something that's as capable as it can be, at least off the showroom floor, and then maybe I make small tweaks, whatever. But that was mostly it. Where if I'm gonna do it, let's do it.
And the other thing is too, is now you don't have to go through and do some of those modifications that have already come equipped on this Frontier. So you already kind of turnkey right into off-roading, minus the lift and the little bit more aggressive tires, but pretty much have a really good platform, a great platform to start your build with. This 2.5-inch rough country lift, it is the spacer kit. It's got the red spacers that sit on top of the factory coil springs, the struts in the front, and then the back does have a reverse shackle to get that extra lift. Now the back already is lifted a little bit from factory because it does have that rake. The front end sits a little bit lower, so it is sort of like a leveling kit where you get the 2.5 inches up front and probably, what is it, about maybe an extra inch or so in the back or so. So that's what this rough country kit comes with, and that kit is only about $150 or so.
Super cheap. Just throw that thing in there. It's also got SBC upper arms for the front, just so you can align it properly, and camber bolts for the bottom of that, and then you can get it all straight and narrow.
So the camber bolts to make sure you're lining up everything nicely. Obviously, the rough country kit you can find on TrailBuilt as well. But they do have additional options on there for upgrading to Vertex coilovers. However, that kit's not available for the Pro 4X. It is only available on the lower editions. But either way, whether it's Bilstein shocks or rough country, we carry those both on our website. And like I said earlier, I'm sure they're going to be coming out with a lot more of these after more and more people see this particular truck on this video, because, man, this thing looks great. I think really our next step is to throw it in forward low and let her go.
I'm up for it. Let's do the thing.
So yeah, I guess we'll see you guys out on the trails. All right, so we just found a nice little spot to stop here, take some lunch, but I want to find out how Zach is liking his Nissan. What do you think, bud?
Dude, so I think, first of all, I know this is like super not intense stuff, like obviously for you guys, but I've never done anything like this. So I'm shocked at what this truck is able to drive through.
Nice.
Like,
nice.
I would look at, like, if I would have just came with you or something like that and saw even just what we went through over here, which I'm sure is nothing for you, and looked at that, I'd be like, I need something that's got like 6-8 inches of lift, like huge tires. Like, this is pretty much just out of the box. Like,
cool. Yeah, it really doesn't take much, especially if you got something like, I mean, you got the ridge grapplers on here.
Yeah.
They do really well for basically like a hybrid tire.
Right.
Great on the road. Take them off-road, they still have plenty of traction.
Sure.
But then you have the locker in here too that really helps. And I know
true.
a couple of times, you know, we had you throw it on and, you know, a couple of those smaller spots, which would we have really needed it? Maybe not, but,
Sure.
you know, first time really kind of getting into some stuff, might as well throw it on and have that extra security and confidence to get through some of that.
Yeah, I think, as far as I can tell, it just seems like everything's just kind of doing what it's supposed to be doing, and it's probably making it way easier for me than it should be.
Well, you've been doing a phenomenal job too. I think, you know, part of it is always driver skill, and for being, well, you've been behind the wheel of the fast cars and everything, and sort of like that mentality of, you know, be calm, stay in control, just at a lot slower speeds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've been taking this on like no big deal.
It's, well, hey man, that's kind of you, but I think it's interesting because going 3 miles an hour through some of this stuff is just as intense as like racetrack driving.
It definitely can be.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a lot of fun. I think that's my takeaway. It's a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun watching you even just out here putting this thing to work. The Nissan Frontier's been kicking some ass. I'm impressed. I mean, I think it's not only a really sharp looking truck, but it's been doing everything you've been pointing it at.
I suppose, viable option maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's one thing too, you know, I think a lot of people just have that mentality, like I was saying earlier, you know, your Colorados, your ZR2s, and your Tacomas, and your TRD Pros, and you know, you have the GMC Canyons, and so you think mid-sized truck, those are usually the brands, you know, GMC, Chevy, Tacoma, Toyotas come to mind.
Toyotas for sure.
Exactly.
It's like Toyota or nothing. Yeah. Which I love Toyotas too, but
right.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and this is a great eye opener for a lot of people that might be, well, I'm not sure if I want that or this or that. Great option to go with. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So far, so good.
Cool.
Loving it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, we're having fun. I think it's time to grab some lunch. Found a nice little cool spot here by the river, and we'll break out the grills and get our bellies full, and then we'll go hit some more trails and
I'm down.
Maybe really see what this thing can do.
Sounds good, man.
Well, how'd you like it?
Dude, I've done so many things today that I've never done before.
Yeah.
So, you know, not really having any expectations. This thing's legit.
Yeah, I mean, it was hooking and grabbing pretty much everywhere, and the truck really did phenomenal. Yeah. It's not only obviously capable and functional out on the trails, but damn, I mean, this thing looks really good.
Thanks, dude.
There was times we would just, we were off camera and we'd have to say, stop, I want to get out and get photos.
Sure.
Because they were, you know, such picturesque spots when you would park somewhere. So I think Nissan really did a phenomenal job on their aesthetics and their looks and their styling. And
I think so too.
Not to mention, I mean, the thing's capable, you know, it's...
I was telling you before, that last feature we hit, dude, no way in hell would I have just done that. I was standing there looking at it and then watching you go up, I'm like, all right, man. But yeah, I don't know, the thing just surprised me, I think. Yeah. Having it out here, like, I think I just really fell in love with it out here while we've been out here.
Awesome.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and just the, you know, the cool thing is, it's just a 2.5-inch lift. You know, $160 I think it is. We have it on TrailBuilt, and 2.5 inches of lift, which is basically just a leveling lift.
Yep.
And a little bit of boost in the back, and then you have the Nitto Ridge grapplers, which These measure to just over, I think it's 32.1 inches. So you say 32 inches,
32.
yep, 10.8 inches wide. So not an overly big tire or anything like that. And this thing was just as capable and went everywhere, you know, my 4Runner went, which granted not that much bigger or lifted more or anything like that. But still, this thing tackled all the trails with just a 2.5 inch lift and 32 inch tires.
I think it's a pretty good litmus test, you know, just kind of, it's my daily, so it's just like drove it off the road and into here, and you can have a day of fun, I guess, and then go home. So that's kind of what I was looking for.
Yep.
Freaking sweet.
Yeah, not only that, but functional, you know, 4-door. Has the truck bed, obviously, you know, like a Tacoma or Colorado or whatever, but still capable enough out on the trails and still pack all your gear in here, have a truck bed, have the, when you have the Nisbo roof rack on here, or not roof rack, but the bed rack.
Yep.
And the rough country tent, which we're just about to talk about in our next video, so definitely stay tuned for that. But really, it was an awesome day.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Had a blast, man.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
And hopefully had a lot of fun. Really first time kind of getting into some more mild off-roading. Now granted, we're not, you know, when you guys have seen our channel before, it's not a super aggressive off-road park here in Tigerton, but it is challenging, especially if you've never done it before. And
yeah, for a freshman, you know,
it's perfect.
And coming in, I mean, this is incredible.
Yeah, very cool. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming out, and we'll go ahead, we'll break down that rooftop tent. Stay tuned again for our next video. But guys, if you have any questions, or even if you have any input on the new Nissan Frontiers, or maybe even you have one, what did you guys do to your Frontier? Is it off-road capable? If you put bigger tires on it? I don't know, just some general information about them. Definitely let us know in the comments below. And guys, don't forget, for wheels and tires, you can find them right on our website at TrailBuilt, and the suspension, and we have all types of overlanding accessories that we've just recently uploaded to our website on TrailBuilt, so definitely make sure and check those out by clicking the link in the description below. And guys, as always, we appreciate all of you for watching and all of your support. I'm Josh, this is Zach, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.